In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of drum programs on the MPC Live. Check it out. What's up everybody, my name is Stratton, helping you create music, and on this channel, I do setup videos, tutorials, and overviews. Welcome back to the video series. So in the previous video, I went ahead and showed you the basic concepts of the MPC Live, and I explained to you what projects are and what sequences are and what tracks are and how they work together to build songs in the MPC. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you drum programs and how they work within a MIDI track and how you can use these drum programs to build a basic drum beat in the MPC. All right, here it is, the MPC Live. I'm going to go ahead and create an empty project, okay? And the first thing I want to do is just save this bad boy. All right, I'm gonna save it as, and then it takes me to my projects right here. I'm gonna save it as, let's make it simple, project 01. Save it. So there it is. You can see right here, I have it here. I have no samples in my sample pool. If I did, they would be there, but everything's clean, everything's empty. So let me go ahead and click out of there or touch out of there. So now here's sequence 1. So I'm going to rename this sequence. It's unused now, right? But I'm about to use this bad boy. So let me go ahead and name it main full. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this main sequence and I'm going to fill it up with a bunch of tracks. And then later on, whenever I go to build a song out of the sequence, I'm just going to copy this one sequence over a few times and kind of mute things and make small edits here and there and then make a song out of all the sequences. All right, and then I want to use this track. All right, it already has the drum program on it, but I'm going to name the track right here. I'm going to name it drums. Just keeping it simple. This way I know what it is. All right, so I got my main sequence. I got drums and they're in project 1. All right, and then I want to take this program. I'm going to edit this as well. I want to name this drums as well. Why not? I'll just name it drums. So now I have a drum program right there. Okay, so if I play the pads, nothing happens because the drum program is empty. So what I have to do is assign samples to it. All right, and once you've been using the MPC a while, you'll have your own sample library. But I think the sounds that are on here are more than adequate to get you going. So let me go ahead and show you. If you click right here, it says assign samples. All right, so we can see I'm on program drums and this is the sample pool. So this is gonna have all the samples in my project and I can assign these samples to the pads. And there's a green box right there and the pad actually lights up over here too. This is where I can assign the samples for my drum program. So if you look here, it says browse, sample assign, and then there's a red indicator saying that I'm on the sample assign. But if I click right there or touch right there where it says browse, it's going to take me to the full browser here. And the default setting is content. So this is the MPC Live's internal content, you know, the 10 gigs of sounds they hook you up with, okay? So there actually are quite a bit of sounds in here and they're definitely usable. There's a few things you could do. You could load up a full drum kit. But to kind of customize your own sound, I think that I'm going to go ahead and click on samples, right? And this gives me the individual samples. So the first sound that I want to load is a drum kick. So I'll go in here and I'll search for kick. So you can see here, I search for kicks and this gives me everything that's named kicks. Okay, so this is how you can see all the kicks. So keep this in mind whenever you're sampling later on. You want to keep some kind of consistency with how you name it so you can search for it later. Just a tip for you. So I can go through all these kits. I can audition them here and I can set the volume of the audition right there so I could turn it up a little bit. All right, and I can set the audition to auto. So when I scroll through them, it automatically auditions them. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to rock the first one here. So I loaded that. You saw that? I pushed load right there. Now that loaded it into the sample pool. So now when I go over here to sample assign, it's right there. And since I had this pad already selected, it assigned it to that pad. So let me go over that again. So if I go to main, I got my drum programs. All right, go to assign samples. So now I want to do a snare on this pad. So I'll just click that pad, go over to browse. Then I'll search for snare, S-N-A-R-E, do it. It's going to load up all the files that are named snare or have snare in the name of it. And then I can audition these. You know, I could keep going until I find one I like. I don't have to use the acoustic snare. I mean, there's a ton of snares in here. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just probably going to use one of these acoustic snares. And then you just go through them and find one that sounds good to you. That might go with that kick. So here's the kick. All right. You can still audition it right there. So I can audition my kick still and see what snare goes with that kick. I'm just going to use this one, so I'm going to make sure I select that pad. I want to click load. Now you can see when I go to sample aside, it's got the kick, it's got the snare, and I can select this one and go ahead and like load a hi-hat. So I'm going to load a hi-hat, do it. Now it's going to show me all the sounds that are named hi-hat or have hi-hat within the name. Then again, I can just audition these. That's blowing my eardrums right now. And the same idea, you just keep going through them until you find one you like. I like that one, so I'm going to load that. Then I want to load an open hi-hat. So you hear how this is closed? It's a closed hi-hat. So the pedal's like closed, like, you know. Now I want one where the pedal is open. Something like that. Go ahead and load that one. So now I have bass, snare, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, and then I'll just do like a crash. So I'll find crash. All right. And then you just keep going through the ones until you find the one you like. All right, that sounds simple enough. Okay, so I'm gonna load that one into pad 5. Now, if I didn't load it into pad 5, I don't have any pads selected, right? So let me just click load. So it's just gonna load that into the sound pool. And if I go to assign sample, you can see it didn't assign it to that pad because I deselected it. But if I wanted to assign it now, you can see it's selected now. All I would have to do is find the file, which is right there, touch it, and it assigns it. So all the samples are assigned now. So I got a bass, snare, hi-hat, open hi-hat, and a crash. Now you can hear that these cymbals are really loud. So what I'm gonna do is go back to main. So there's a few different ways to do what I'm about to do, but I'm just gonna show you this way. Try to stay within the main window as much as possible because I haven't showed you a lot of different things. And this video is going to cover a lot of things I haven't shown you yet, but I figured let's go ahead and get in here and make some music. And after we build a basic song, I figure I'll go ahead and go back and kind of explain the main window and the browser and all the different options, you know. When you're in your main mode, you can see right here I'm on drums. So if I click this eyeball or if I touch this eyeball, it opens up the channel strip. And you can see I have access to a lot of options here. So you can see by default, I'm in the drum program channel strip, but I can go to pad right there. So now whatever pad I select, this channel strip is going to control that pad. I'm on pad 1 here, pad 2, pad 3. All right, so I want to take this pad and I want to lower the volume of that pad. So this controls the volume. So once I click on there, or once I touch there, it selects that, and I can turn the pad down. As a matter of fact, I want to push full level. This way I can hear the actual volume at full level. So when I touch, you know, when I touch the pads, I can hear the volume in relation to the other sounds, okay? And that sounds better, right? You can also see right there, and you can hear how loud that was. So I can turn that down as well. Now that crash is going to be loud as well. I'm going to turn that down. Alright, so once I do that, I'm actually going to go over here to the whole program. I'm going to turn the whole program down as well, because you can see I'm already hitting above 0. And you know, I need to leave a little bit of headroom, because once I start adding like basses and other different sounds to this, it's really going to push the levels there. So I want to turn this down, give myself a little bit of headroom. And you can see, you know, -9. It's at -9-ish. That's pretty good for now. You know, that just gives you some room. That way you can go back, mix everything later at the end. But this gives you some room to get the other sounds in there. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations, you just built your first drum kit. All right, so. Go ahead and play around with the drum kit or whatever, come up with a drum beat. So what I'm gonna do is kind of fiddle around, come up with a drum beat, and then record that drum beat into the sequence, okay? So let me show you this. I'm in a project, I'm in project 1, got the sequence, got the track, I got the drums. All right, so you can see the default BPM is 120, but I can change that at any time. And the default bars is 4. I could change that at any time as well. But for now, I'm going to keep it what it is, and I'm going to build a drum beat, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so now I have this drum program. Now I want to find a beat or a basic drum beat, and I'm going to record that drum beat into sequence 1. All right, for some reason, I'm on that fast pace, probably because I just drank a cup of coffee, but I got my energy kind of going right now. All right, I'll probably do something like that, just try to keep it simple, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna take full level off and use note repeat on this, okay? So check this out. If I push note repeat, all right, I'm actually gonna push shift and note repeat. All right, so that's a little bit faster than what I was just playing. So I gotta find basically the tempo. So let's see, I'm taking note repeat off. So what I want to do is bang on tap tempo to the beat of the hi-hat. So check it out. I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, maybe a little over 300 when I go in 16th notes. So it's probably around 100 BPM. So what I'm going to do is just go to 100. Click do it. Now let's listen to what that sounds like. So that's probably a little bit closer to what I was playing at. So I'm gonna go with that. So what I'm gonna do is push record and then play start and kind of mess with the hi-hat right here. So check it out. Actually, before I do that, just check out right here. I got the count in on and enabled on record as well. So it's gonna count in on record and it's going to keep playing through record if I want. But actually I'm gonna put it off on that. I'm just gonna do the count in for the fun of it. So let's go ahead and do this. Record, play start. Now you can hear when I was pushing the pad, had no repeat going, so it kept repeating for 16th notes, and I was kind of letting off of the pad and pushing harder and letting off to give it some kind of volume dynamics or what have you. So yeah, it's pretty cool there. And one thing to note, it is straight notes. So if you look here, it's all right on the grid because I had note repeat on, okay? I'm gonna take note repeat off and I'm gonna play the drum beat. All right, so if you look up here, I wanna keep the metronome on count in record. I wanna enable it for record and that's going to be that. And then I'm going to close that and go ahead and count in. All right, this should help keep me on beat. So let's do this. Overdub, play start. Now there's a couple more things I want to do before I'm done with the drums. So I got those drums in there. I got that drum kit built, but what I want to do is go back over here. So what I want to do is kind of dirty up that drum sound. So I want to go into my effects and I want to put like a decimator, something like that on there. And this way, all right, so if you listen to that kick drum, it's got a little dirtier sound. You know, it's real subtle, but it's definitely there, right? This is it without the effect. Maybe even kick this up a little bit. All right, so what I did is I turned the bit rate down to 12 and I just clicked the decimator up one. Now you can put whatever effects you want because this is the effect chain on the drums. So I just wanted to dirty up the drums to kind of give it a unique sound rather than just having the straight drum samples in there, right? You could add whatever effects you want on there. You can add like reverbs, delays, distortions, flangers. You know, you could mimic the MPC 3000, MPC 60 if you want to get that, you know, that feel to it. You could do the resampler to give it another degraded sound. I'm just going to use the decimator for now, you know, and you can do like a reverb if you want. So let's hear what this sounds like. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna get rid of that. All right, and then there's one other thing I want to do that I didn't do earlier. I want to go into my menu, program edit, and you can see this is, you know, a bunch of edit functions, but we're not gonna worry about most of this. We're just gonna go over to LFO modulation, mute group. I wanna select that closed hi-hat, put it on mute group 1, hit that open hi-hat on mute group 1 as well. That way whenever I hit either one of these, it shuts off the other one. If I hit this one, it cuts it off. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to show you that. So I actually want to put a little hi-hat in there really fast, kind of an open hi-hat. And there's actually one other thing I wanted to do before I end this video. I want to put a little swing on this. Right, so what I'm going to do, tap that pad. It's going to highlight all of that. It's going to highlight every single hi-hat. Then I want to push shift, time correct. I want to pump the swing up slightly, maybe 55. I'm going to click do it. See what I'm saying? Adds a little bit of swing to it. What I want to do also is put a little hi-hat in there. There you have it. That's how you build a drum program on the MPC. That's how you make the drum beat. This is how it's done. I'm going to go ahead and sign off on this video, go ahead and get into the next video, and I'm going to make a key group on the next video and just kind of make a basic one, nothing complicated. just make a key group, get in there, add a bass line to this drum beat. So there you have it. That's how you make a basic drum program in the MPC, and that's how you make a basic drum beat using that program. I know I went into a few different areas that I haven't introduced yet in this series. I will cover those areas in future videos, but I wanted to get in here and kind of show you what you can do with the MPC and the drum programs to kind of get you started. So if you're watching this series and following along, you get a little bit of something to kind of get your feet wet with the MPC. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to get into the key group programs to make a very super basic key group, and go ahead and show you how to make a bass line with that key group. And I want to keep building onto this main sequence. This video is a part of the video series, so if you haven't seen the video series, go ahead and click right there, and that card will take you over to the playlist. And remember to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and that will notify you whenever I add new videos to that playlist. My name is Matthew. Continue to create, and I'll see you in the next video.